Hello and welcome back to Daily English with Lily and Leo, the podcast where we talk about real life and help you improve your English at the same time. I'm Lily.
And I'm Leo. And today we are going deep.
We are. Today's topic is dreams and ambitions. What did you want to be when you were a child? What do you want now? And the big one, what would you have done if you had chosen a completely different path?
These are the questions that keep you awake at night.
Or the questions that help you figure out what you actually want, depending on your mindset.
Fair point. Before we get into it, if you're new here, please subscribe. It's completely free, it helps us reach more people, and we release a new episode every week.
Subscribe now. You will not regret it.
Smooth. Very smooth. Okay, dreams and ambitions. Where do we start?
Let's start at the beginning. Childhood dreams. What did you want to be?
A footballer. We talked about this in episode 3, actually, school memories. I was completely convinced I would play professionally. I had the passion, I had the enthusiasm, I had some of the skill.
Some of the skill.
I said some, it's honest. The dream was real, even if the talent had limits. What about you? I remember you said you wanted to be a vet.
For years. I loved animals, I was good at biology, I thought this is the path. And then I found out how much sadness the job involves, the difficult cases, the things you can't fix. And I just couldn't imagine living with that day after day. So I changed direction completely and went to computers instead.
And then computers turned into a 5-year career and a burnout.
And then computers turned into a burnout, yes. So here I am, podcasting about English.
Is that what you imagined at 7 years old?
Definitely not. At 7, I was trying to convince a stray cat to let me pet it. The podcasting came later.
Do you have regrets about the path you took?
No. And that surprises me sometimes, because there were months after I left programming when I felt completely lost. I kept thinking, what am I doing? What am I for? I had the stable career, people respected it, my mom had stopped worrying, and I threw it all away because I was tired.
That's a terrifying feeling.
It is. But the thing is, if I had stayed in programming, I would never have started this. I wouldn't have discovered how much I love talking about language, about learning, about real people's lives. So even the burnout, as awful as it was, it pointed me somewhere better.
It's interesting, because from the outside, a burnout looks like a failure. But for you, it was almost like a redirect.
Exactly that. A redirect. I was going one direction, the road ended, and I had to find a different one. And the different one turned out to be more mine than anything I'd planned.
Do you think you always had this in you? The teaching side, the communication side?
I think so, yes. Looking back, in school, I was always the one who explained things to other students. Not because the teacher asked me to, just because I liked it. I liked finding the right way to say something so that someone else understood it. I just didn't see that as a career. I thought careers meant stability, and stability meant programming.
Or engineering, or law, or medicine.
Or anything with a clear ladder and a pension, which my mom was very invested in.
The pension talk.
The pension talk. She told my aunt, before she told me directly, that I had quit. She couldn't bring herself to say it to my face first. Very her.
Families.
Families. Anyway, what about you? Do you have regrets? If you had known earlier what you know now, would you have done anything differently?
That's the question, isn't it? I think if I had known earlier how much I'd love writing, I would have pursued it more actively in school. Not just in English class, actually writing. Opinion pieces, stories, columns. I had so many thoughts floating around, I just didn't know what to do with them yet.
And now you write for a living.
And now I write for a living. It makes sense. When I got my first journalism job, my dad, and he's not someone who says much, he said, "That makes sense." 4 words. I wrote them in a notebook. I still have that notebook.
That might be the most moving thing you've ever told me.
He's economical with words, but when he says something, it lands. We talked about him in episode 17. He worked at the same place for 30 years. Very steady, very loyal. And then in retirement, he admitted that if he could do it again, he might have tried something different in his 40s.
That sentence stayed with you.
It did, because he never complains. He never says, "I wish." So hearing it even once, it meant something. It made me think, don't wait until retirement to be honest about what you want.
That's a powerful thing to take from it.
And the thing is, I don't think he's unhappy with his life. Not at all. But there was something there, some potential he recognized, maybe too late. And he was just honest about it, that one time.
What do you want now? Not childhood ambitions. What does Leo at 29 actually want?
Current ambitions. Okay, I want to write something longer. A real long-form piece, or maybe a book, eventually. I don't know what it would be about yet, but I have this feeling that there's something bigger I want to say, and I haven't found the shape of it yet.
Haven't found the shape of it yet. I love that.
Is that a strange thing to say?
No, it's exactly right. It sounds like something a real writer would say.
Then I'm already on the right track.
I have something I've been thinking about too, more on the fitness side. Not just running for myself, maybe coaching or writing something practical. There is so much overcomplicated advice about health and training out there, and I think most people just need honest, simple guidance. Nothing pretentious. Just here is what actually works.
You would be so good at that.
I think I might be. I'm still figuring out what form it would take, but the potential is there. I can feel it starting to take shape.
I have a friend story for this. Nina, you know Nina from the yoga episodes.
She left her corporate job to teach yoga full-time, and everyone thought she was making a huge mistake.
Everyone, her family, her colleagues, people who barely knew her. You have a stable career. This is risky. What are you doing? And she did it anyway.
How is she doing?
Genuinely happy. She says she stopped dreading Mondays. And I know that sounds like a small thing, but think about it. If you've ever had that feeling on a Sunday evening, that weight in your chest before the week begins, to not have that anymore is enormous.
It's enormous. It changes everything.
And she said something that stuck with me. In her old job, she felt completely disconnected from her body. Like, her words, a brain sitting in a chair. Just her mind going with no connection to anything physical. And now she's teaching people to move, to breathe, to be present. She's fully herself.
That's such a clear image, a brain in a chair.
She has a way of putting things. And she said she'd always had this pull towards that kind of work. She just buried it for years because it didn't look like a real career, until she decided it was.
It's the same with David. We mentioned him in the weather episode. He spent years in an office job feeling invisible, completely invisible. And then he retrained as a plumber, completely different world. And now he says it's the best decision he ever made because he fixes something real every day. He can see the result. He can hold it.
There's something powerful about visible results.
And about feeling like yourself at work. Nina said it, David said it. There's a version of your life where you're technically fine and a version where you're actually you. And some people spend a long time in the technically fine version.
If I had spent the last 5 years not doing journalism, I would be completely different now. Missing something. Not broken, but incomplete.
Hold that sentence. We're going to use it in the grammar section.
Am I a grammar example now?
You've always been a grammar example. You just didn't know it.
Okay. Vocabulary first, though.
Vocabulary. 5 words, all connected to today's topic.
Number 1, ambition. A strong desire to achieve something. A goal you really want to reach. She always had the ambition to run her own business.
You can also describe a person as ambitious. It means they have strong goals and work hard to reach them. He's very ambitious. He already has a 5-year plan written down.
Number 2, pursue. To pursue something means to work actively towards it. Not just want it, actually do something about it. She decided to pursue a career in writing. He pursued his ambition for years before it paid off.
Pursue is an important word because it's about action, not just wishing. You don't just have a dream, you pursue it.
Number 3, regret. A regret is a feeling of sadness or disappointment about something you did or something you didn't do. He has no regrets about leaving his old job. I regret not starting sooner.
You can say, I regret doing something, past action, or I regret not doing something, a missed opportunity. Both are very common.
Number 4, potential. Potential is ability that hasn't been fully used yet. It's what you could become, not just what you are now. She has enormous potential. She just needs the right opportunity.
We often say someone is fulfilling their potential, meaning they're becoming everything they're capable of, or wasting their potential, which is the harder version to hear.
Very harsh.
But useful. And number 5, fulfill. To fulfill means to achieve something you've been working towards, to make a dream real. He finally fulfilled his ambition of writing a novel. She fulfilled her potential and built the career she always wanted.
Fulfill works beautifully with both ambition and potential. Fulfill your potential. Fulfill your ambitions. Keep those combinations.
5 words for today: ambition, pursue, regret, potential, fulfill. Write them down, put them in your flashcards, use them this week.
Now, grammar. And I am apparently one of the examples.
You are the star example. Okay, today's grammar, the third conditional and mixed conditionals. These are 2 structures that both talk about imaginary situations, but they work differently.
Let's start with the third conditional. This one is about the past. Something didn't happen, but we're imagining what if it had.
The structure is if plus past perfect, would have plus past participle. So if I had stayed in programming, I would have earned more money. Did I stay in programming?
No.
No, but if I had, that's the imaginary past. If you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. You didn't study hard, you didn't pass. That's a regret. Third conditional.
And it works in the positive direction, too. If I hadn't burned out, I would never have started this podcast. The difficult thing led to something better.
Same structure. If plus past perfect, if I hadn't burned out, then would have plus past participle, would never have started. The situation is imaginary. It's looking back at a fork in the road.
Now, mixed conditionals. This is where it gets interesting and honestly very useful.
A mixed conditional connects the past with the present. You imagine a different past action, but the result is about right now, not back then.
So, if I had pursued a different career, I would be a completely different person now. Not I would have been, I would be. Present result of an imaginary past choice.
The structure changes slightly. If plus past perfect, still imagining a different past, but then would plus infinitive, because we're talking about the present. If she hadn't made that career switch, she would still be dreading Mondays.
Nina, that's Nina.
That's Nina. Past decision, present consequence. She did make the switch, so she doesn't dread Mondays now. The mixed conditional lets us connect those 2 things.
And my sentence from earlier, if I had spent the last 5 years not doing journalism, I would be missing something right now. Past imaginary choice, present state.
Perfect. That's exactly it. Third conditional, imaginary past, past result. If I had done X, I would have done Y. Mixed conditional, imaginary past, present result. If I had done X, I would be Y now.
Let's practice. You give me a third conditional, I'll turn it into a mixed conditional.
Okay. If I hadn't started running, I would never have entered a half marathon.
Mixed version, if you hadn't started running, you wouldn't be doing morning 5s every day right now.
Good. Your turn.
If I hadn't moved to the city, I would never have become a journalist.
If you hadn't moved to the city, you would still be in that village wondering what you were supposed to do with all those questions.
100% accurate.
One more, and this one is for listeners. Think of one decision in your life, a real one, a fork in the road, and try both versions. Third conditional, if I had done X, I would have done Y. Mixed conditional, if I had done X, I would be Y now.
It's actually a useful way to understand your own life, not just practice grammar.
That's exactly what grammar is for. It gives you a structure to think with, not just to speak with.
The third conditional tends to come up when people talk about regrets, or when they're grateful for how things turned out. The mixed conditional is more about your current situation, where you are now because of what you did or didn't do then.
Both are very common in real conversations, especially conversations about dreams and ambitions. which is exactly why we put them in this episode.
Clever.
Thank you. I planned it.
She planned it. Okay, motivation.
Yes, and today it comes directly from the episode.
We talked about Nina, who left a career that looked fine from the outside. David, who felt invisible in a safe job and rebuilt himself completely. And my dad, who said, just once, quietly, that he might have done something differently if he could.
What all of these stories have in common is this. It's not about having a perfect plan. It's about recognizing the potential that's already there and then pursuing it, even when you're not sure how it will turn out, even when the people around you are unsure.
You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to take the next step in the right direction.
And here's what the third conditional can teach you. If you find yourself thinking, if I had done X, I would be somewhere better right now, that mixed conditional might be useful information. It might be pointing at something you still actually want.
Not to send anyone into an existential crisis on a Tuesday morning,
That is sincerely not the goal.
but one small question is worth asking. Is there something you've been putting off? Something you're waiting to feel ready for?
Because readiness doesn't usually arrive first. You step towards the thing, and the readiness comes as you go.
1% every day.
1% every day. That's all it takes to start.
Speaking of taking steps, I have some news.
Oh?
Biscuit news. Very important.
Tell me everything.
So, listeners may remember, I have been feeding a stray cat outside my building for a while now. Small, orange and white, one ear that folds down, very affectionate. And I asked my landlord about adopting her, and he said, I'll think about it.
Which you immediately decided meant yes.
Which I treated as a provisional yes. And this week, he stopped me in the hallway. He said, about the cat, and I stood very still.
Frozen in the corridor?
And he said she can come inside, as long as she doesn't scratch the doors.
That is a yes. That is a completely official yes.
It is absolutely a yes. Biscuit is coming indoors. I've already started rearranging things.
And the mystery box?
The mystery box, which, as longtime listeners will know, has been sitting in the corner next to my bookshelf for 2 years without being opened.
2 years.
2 years, correct. It is going to become Biscuit's first bed. I'm putting a blanket on top of it. She gets the corner. It's perfect.
The mystery box remains unopened. It just has a cat on it now.
That's called progress. How's the someday jar you're about to ask?
I was about to ask.
It's at €4.50. I bought her a toy, the proper kind, with a feather on the end, and I may have also bought a small bowl.
It was at $4.90.
I know. In my defense, investing in Biscuit is investing in my future happiness, which is technically what a someday jar is for.
That is a completely wrong interpretation of how a someday jar works.
I know it is. If I had stopped buying cat supplies, I would have had €6 by now, third conditional. I just made a third conditional about my own jar.
That's the episode. That is the entire episode right there.
Grammar through lived experience.
Okay, before we close, and we cannot end an episode without this.
Pizza.
Pizza. Big question for today. If you had grown up in a family where pizza was served at every single breakfast,
Hypothetically.
would you have turned out the way you are, still insisting it's a dinner food?
Yes, because if I had grown up eating pizza for breakfast, I would understand how wrong it is even more clearly. It would have scarred me. I would be advocating for dinner pizza even harder.
That is the most elaborate defense of a wrong opinion I have ever heard.
Pizza is a dinner food. It has always been a dinner food. The crust is a structural support system for dinner toppings. That's engineering.
You did a journalism degree, and now you're citing engineering to defend pizza.
I contain multitudes.
We are never going to agree on this.
Never, and that is completely fine. Some things are worth fighting about forever.
Okay, that is episode 18. Thank you so much for listening to Daily English with Lily and Leo.
If you enjoyed this episode, and especially if you want to practice what we talked about today, leave us a comment. Tell us, if you had chosen a completely different path in life, where do you think you would be now?
Use the third conditional, use the mixed conditional. We want to see them in action.
We read every single comment, and we love hearing from you. It genuinely makes the podcast better.
If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free, it helps new listeners find us, and it means a lot.
1% every day.
1% every day. See you next time.